That's time for the donkey of the day. That's pretty funny.
Charlamagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Yes. Donkey of the day for Wednesday, May 22nd goes to the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson. Now, I don't know why I thought Dr. Ben Carson stepped down from this position, but he didn't. Well, what, right? No. He's leaving after Trump's first term. Yes, he's leaving after Trump's first term. Well, hopefully his only term. Now, yesterday, Dr. Ben Carson testified before Queen Maxine Waters' Financial Services Committee for the first time since Maxine became the chair in January. If it is true that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, well, Dr. Ben Carson blew it. All right. Now, quick backstory on Dr. Ben for those who don't know. He's a former brain surgeon and Republican presidential candidate who our celebrity-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, nominated as his HUD secretary in 2017, despite him having zero relevant experience. Now, Dr. Ben was trying to defend a budget proposal that would cut 16.4% from HUD's budget. He was also questioned about a plan HUD announced last year to impose rent increases of as much as 150% on people who lived in subsidized housing. Now, if you thought Dr. Ben Carson had no idea what he was doing as Secretary of HUD, well, this exchange confirms it, okay? Because there's a basic housing terminology. I know a little basic housing terminology. Like, Envy, I know you know some basic housing terminology, right?
Correct.
You know what affordable housing is for the most part, mixed-use housing. Right? We know what opportunity zones are. We know what AMIs are, right? PMVs, American Medium Income, Present Market Value. Okay, we all know some basic housing terminology. Well, we might know more basic terms about housing than the Secretary of HUD, Dr. Ben Carson, because Representative Katie Porter asked Dr. Ben about a common acronym used to describe foreclosed properties. She asked him about REOs. REOs. That's an R, an E, and an O. Okay, would you like to hear what Dr. Ben Carson thought she was talking about? Let's listen.
I'd also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO.
Okay.
She had to explain it to him. Was this at Envy's seminar?
If he was at my seminar, he would have learned.
Now,
sheesh.
When you're talking foreclosed properties, an REO stands for real estate owned, okay? If you want to snack with some warm milk, if it's Christmas and you're trying to leave Santa something to snack on, an Oreo is a chocolate sandwich cookie. Now, let me tell you something. Dr. Ben was doing something called psychological projection with that statement. I'm no neurosurgeon. I didn't even go to college. I graduated from night school in 1998, and my graduating class was supposed to be 1996. So that tells you all you need to know about me, all right? But psychological projection is a defense mechanism in which the human ego defends itself against unconscious impulses or qualities. So I think Dr. Ben has an unconscious impulse to defend himself when he hears the word Oreo, because he has been called one so much in his life, okay? An Oreo is a black person who acts white, black on the outside, white on the inside. Now, I don't like that term because black people are not monolithic, and there's no way to act black, and there's no way to act white, all right? Just because Dr. Ben Carson is a well-educated neurosurgeon who doesn't speak fluent nigga doesn't mean he's acting white. Okay, so I don't agree with calling people Oreos, but I can see why you would call Dr. Ben Carson one. And I truly believe, he's been called one his whole life, that it was a psychological projection, okay? He feels like Milk's favorite cookie. So when he heard that, he just got defensive, all right? He was ready to prove that he did not consist of 2 chocolate wafers and he was not full of sweet cream filling. All right, if Katie Porter had really called Dr. Ben Carson an Oreo, he was ready to reply, "You don't know me. I am Big B from the D. And you will put some respect on me, all right? Y'all don't know Big B from the D, all right? Big B from the D from the streets. Let's hear Big B talk that talk.
As a teenager, I would go after people with rocks and bricks and baseball bats and hammers.
That's right.
Carson describes punching a classmate with a lock in his hand.
At age 14, another teenager angered me, and I had a large camping knife.
Ooh.
And I tried to stab him in the abdomen. And fortunately, under his clothing, he had on a large metal belt buckle, and the knife blade struck with such force that it broke.
Ooh, Big B from the D. Dropping the clues bombs with Big B from the D. Oreo? He's no damn Oreo. That's Big B from the D. How dare you call him an Oreo? Now, Big B from the D decided to play along, and he got on Twitter and posted a picture of him holding a pack of family-sized Oreos. Now, I am a stern believer of living your truth. It's the Eminem and 8 Mile theory. I wrote about it in my first book, Black Privilege, and I guess since Big B from the D is from Detroit, he decided to take a page out of B Rabbit's book and say everything about himself that any hater could possibly say. So he held up that pack of Oreos. Well, it worked for B Rabbit. It don't work for Dr. Ben Carson, because even though I don't agree with the term Oreo, I can see why they call him that, right? You can't take a picture with a pack of Oreos, just like R. Kelly can't take a picture in front of a high school. All right, OJ can't pretend to be Jason Voorhees for Halloween. It's just some things that should not be done. And an Oreo holding a pack of Oreos is one of them. Look, if you don't know something, don't pretend to. Okay, I'm not an expert at anything. I just have some experiences. And when you don't know, like Dr. Ben Carson, or have any experiences in a certain field like Dr. Ben Carson, then you end up mistaking REOs for cookies. I'm smart enough to know I'm dumb. Okay? You have to be smart enough to know you're not very smart. Or you can be like Dr. Ben Carson and not be smart enough to know everything, but be dumb enough to try anything, including being the Secretary of HUD, when you have no idea what the hell you are doing. Please let Remy Ma give Dr. Ben Carson the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. You dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no
All right.
job requirements or anything?
Clearly not.
Not at all.
Clearly not. I mean, I can see where you can get some acronyms messed up. Like if somebody came to me and said NBA right now, I probably think Young Boy, before anything. You know what I'm saying? If you came to me and said PSA, I think of Jay-Z and Just Blaze. Allow me to reintroduce myself. You know what I'm saying? But I would get back focused in 2 seconds. Charlamagne the God here, and today's Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the Law Office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey and call my friend Michael if you've been hurt in a construction accident. 212-962-1020. That's 212-962-1020. Don't be a donkey.